All right, we are live on the Coach Eli Television Network, YouTube, Facebook, and D Live. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here on this beautiful, amazing Thursday evening. It is Thursday, August 26, 2021, the day that we're doing this live stream. But, like I always say, if you're here on the replay, most of my streams have tremendous replay value with evergreen content, and this is another one of those that you're not going to want to miss, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We're going to be discussing more of the men going their own way community almost 5 years later since I found out about it, and it's going to be a very interesting show. You are not going to want to miss a single second of it. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it has. The Queen is already here. Hey, Queen, how you doing? Welcome to the show. I haven't worn my my white Calvin Klein liquid cotton polo shirt in a while. I love this shirt. It was like buried in the archives in my closet, and I decided to dig it out. It was washed, and I ironed it out. And I love it. A little bit of a different look today, right? It's all good. It's all good. Fix the hat, Eli. Fix the hat. All right. The YouTube notification has gone out. Let me check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that things are rolling smoothly, and they absolutely are. The back end of Facebook is rolling well. And so is the back end of D Live. Let me check out the front end of Facebook and D Live. Facebook. I'm second on the newsfeed. That's cool. Live. It's rolling well. Let's check out D Live. Here we go. Well, let's check out D Live. It's working. All right, Eli. You got your stuff together. It's too early on in the video to use occasional profanity that won't get you demonetized. So let's just say, Eli, you've got your stuff together with the tech stuff, right? Woo! All right, give me 1 second here. Let me clear my throat. I'm going to mute. Man, these damn allergies, I'll tell you. This has been the worst allergy season in history, with very, very high pollen levels. We've also had a lot of fires out here in the Northern California area where I live. These fires are, I'd say about maybe up to a couple hundred miles north of where I'm at, maybe 150 miles. But, as the wind shifts, it'll blow the smoke down. It'll carry the smoke down my way here in the Bay Area. And that, doesn't help. If you have allergies and other stuff like that, right? It just adds up, right? But thankfully, I have a great immune system and I'm in good health. So, I can fight this stuff off. It just uses up more of your energy. You know what I mean? So anyway, we're going to get right to it tonight because I have a lot to go over, and I don't want to run this show longer than a couple of hours. I really want to make it as short as possible so as many people as possible can watch this on the replay. So let's get right to the topic. And then I have 4 pieces of content to share with you folks. 3 are, Reddit postings. 1 is an article from The Guardian that pertains directly to this topic. And it makes a lot of sense. And it was written by a woman. And I'm sharing it because I actually agree with what this woman is saying for the most part, right? And she's kind of cute too. But, hey, we're going to just show you how well she wrote this article regarding the men going their own way community that came out last year. So it's fairly recent. So the topic of today's stream is, are men really going their own way? Question mark. Manosphere, listen up for the truth. One more time. Are men really going their own way? question mark. Manosphere, listen up for the truth. Today, I'm going to share the absolute truth regarding what I feel is going on with men nowadays, especially men that have gotten involved in this movement online called MGTOW, or they become a part of the overall male, communities out here on YouTube and social media. They call it the Manosphere, right? They call it the Manosphere in general. But it pretty much stems from the MGTOW philosophy that was created, 15, 20 years ago or so. And let's see, Queen says, the Guardian belongs to the radical left with the fake news media. Well, that's your opinion, Queen. Queen, here's the thing. For me, I don't care if somebody, that writes an article is from the left or right down the middle. I don't care if they're blue or purple or yellow or green. I care about the content, and if the content is good, and I have something to add to it, that's what really matters. But I respect your opinion. I get what you're saying, and you're probably right. You're probably right about that. But again, for me, I value everyone's opinions, whether they're left, right, middle, up, down, sideways, backwards, forwards. You know what I'm saying? As long as people make sense and they have a respectful opinion and it makes sense to me, that's what really matters. But yeah, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So let me start off by, sharing a little bit of the backstory on how I initially got involved with the MGTOW community. But first, let me, Queen says I'm always right. All right, that's some confidence there, Queen. Respectfully, it's all good, Queen. It's all good, Queen. I have a lot of love and respect for you, right? It's all good. I'm a strong enough dude to not get angry or triggered when someone disagrees with me, right? We can still be friends and we can learn from each other, right? Right. That's what I'm trying to actually teach men. And women too. We don't always have to agree with each other, but we can respectfully disagree and learn from each other's opinions, right? You know what I'm saying? So before I share my experiences with the MGTOW community, I'm going to be very brief. I'm just going to share a brief timeline so you folks know why I'm talking about this today and the experience I have, so you know that I'm experienced to talk about this. I've been scrutinized, can't even talk. I've been scrutinized in the past, which is what I'm trying to say, for not knowing what I'm talking about regarding this community. And while that may have some truth to it initially, or it may have had some truth initially back in the days, 4 to 5 years ago when I started talking about this, I've learned a lot more since then. And I've got almost 5 years of experience to back my statements up. So if people want to come at me, people are still going to come at you. People are, emotionally unstable, mentally unstable, angry, bitter. There are people out there that, whether you're right or wrong, they're just going to project because they're just not happy within themselves. If you're going to come at me, you're going to come at me no matter what, right? But I'm just saying I have the experience to completely speak on this now. And I really want to try to get through to as many men as possible. And women, you can learn from this too. But I'm primarily focusing this on men because, like I mentioned on a stream yesterday, I feel men are misguided and misled. And I was going to mention before I share my experiences with MGTOW. Yesterday's stream got demonetized. I submitted it for manual review with this title. The title, let me go and find it real quick. The title was MGTOW, PUA, Manosphere Men. You are being misguided. Who can you trust? It got demonetized because, the word MGTOW flags the artificial intelligence. I submitted it for manual review and they approved it fully suitable for all advertisers, which is what I'm trying to say. I can't even get the words out today. Oh my God, right? So why did they approve my video, and why are other guys that are putting MGTOW in their title and talking about MGTOW not getting approved? Context matters. Okay, folks, look, I talk about the same things that most people talk about out here. And I get the point across, but I do it respectfully, professionally, and maturely, right? That's called context, right? And I don't attack people or bash people. I state the facts, right? I state the facts, right? Or at least my opinions that I feel should be facts, because I double and triple check things before I put them out. And I make sure I'm experienced to a certain level before I talk about something. But again, the most important thing is context, regardless of what you're talking about, and how you present your material respectfully, professionally, and maturely. You can use different words to express certain things that you aren't happy about when it comes to women or men, without having to be very derogatory, which will get you at the very least demonetized, or probably even, have your video or videos removed, right? So, and let me also preface by saying this before I share my experiences regarding MGTOW and what's leading to this, stream or piece of content here today. Queen says, I do have another trainer for the psychological operations, and she told me about it. All right, Queen. That's all good. That's all good. Here's the thing. This video stream, whatever you want to call it, is not about bashing men or women. I'm not here to attack men or attack women. I'm here to share what I've seen happen, what I've experienced, and how I feel it's greatly affecting men and women, both men and women, from having one of the most beautiful things in life, in the way life is meant to be, between men and women, right? So again, I'm not attacking you guys. I'm not telling you guys what you should or shouldn't do. And I'm not attacking you ladies. I'm not telling you ladies what you should or shouldn't do. What I'm saying is that I thoroughly understand what's going on. And, in my opinion, there's actually a way to better this, right? There's actually a way to fix this situation between men and women. And I know what the solution is. I'm going to share that with you folks here tonight for both men and women. The problem is I'm a small channel on YouTube, and I don't have the biggest social media presence. So I don't know how many people are going to, see this. I don't know what the reach is going to be. I really wish my channel would just kind of blow up, because I really want to get this message out. I really want to help as many men and women truly understand what's going on and how we can make it better, right? So with that being said, I'd say about 4.5 years ago or so, it's closing in on 5 years, I started my first real YouTube channel and my coaching business. That channel no longer exists. I was running that channel for, I think it was almost 2 years. And I was also dating an amazing woman. I'm not going to get into that, but most of you that have been following me for a while know I was dating an amazing woman during that time. And I was looking to connect with as many people as possible on YouTube, to help grow my channel and help as many people as possible. And I had a subscriber that made me aware of this MGTOW community. And I thought at first, like everyone does, I screwed it up. I called it MGTOW because it's spelled MGTOW, MGTOW, like towing a car, right? And it's not MGTOW, it's MGTOW, TOW, like T-A-U, right? Okay. And every so often I would call it MGTOW, but after a while you get used to it, right? I had a gentleman by the name of Randall. I remember him. He said that he has a great girlfriend and he's been divorced once. He's never going to get married again, but he loves to date. He wants to date a woman. but just doesn't want the attachment of the government and the legal system in case something goes south, like a divorce, right? And so he told me, he goes, there are a bunch of pills in this community. He wrote me an email on this, right? Give me a second here. I need to clear my throat. Just a second here. Okay, much better. Much better. So Randall told me there are 3 pills, and he told me that he considers himself purple pill. He's aware of the modern day issues involving, dating a woman, but he continues to date a woman with a caution and awareness. And I really had no clue about this, right? So I started researching MGTOW. I started, searching for MGTOW channels. And I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I found some other channels that were running purple pill content and red pill content. If you want to find out what the pills are, most of you know what the pills are. I'm not going to go into detail here again. Just go do a Google search for the MGTOW pills. Put in red pill, blue pill, and purple pill, right? I started getting involved with these people, and my channel started to grow tremendously. And I'm like, this is great. This is what I wanted, right? And I started more so researching the MGTOW philosophy, which is a pretty good philosophy. All men should have red pill knowledge. All men should understand modern day female nature, right? Okay. But besides that, there was a whole element to this whole MGTOW community, especially out here on YouTube, that I didn't realize. There were a lot of recently divorced men that, had half their income and resources taken in a divorce. And a lot of these guys were starting to come on some of these live stream panels with me and attacking me for trying to coach people, on how to find true love and happiness, right? Which is the whole purpose of life, right? A lot of these guys would come on and say, oh, the court systems favor women. They, modern day divorce laws favor women, and same thing with child custody laws. And to a certain extent, while that is true to a certain extent, it's not completely true. Because the last 2 women I dated were the breadwinners in their households. Now in the modern world, here in the U.S., 30% of the breadwinners are the women, and 70% are still men, or the breadwinners are still men, which is what I'm trying to say, right? And, while 70% is still the majority, right? For women to now be 30% of the breadwinners, after being fully liberated for the last 55 years, that's a pretty staggering number. A lot of women are out earning men. They're becoming the heads of the household, etc., right? So when my last 2 girlfriends were going through divorce and they were the breadwinners, who do you feel, or who do you think had half their resources taken? It was them, right? And because the men that they were married to and were dating weren't doing their part. Maybe they were initially, but once they got married, they got complacent. They didn't focus on their career. They, were stuck at a job that they had in their 20s, maybe working for a grocery store or something like that, and they didn't focus on bettering their careers. So both these ladies surpassed these guys, right? And then these guys started becoming complacent, and they just weren't doing their part. So these women ended up divorcing these guys. But because they were the breadwinners, they lost half their resources, right? Okay? So it can happen to men or women. right? Here, give me a second, please. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, man. You know, it's funny to me. It's funny to me that some people that don't like me or don't like my content or maybe pretend to like my content, they still want to try to talk about me and eat off my plate in some way, shape, or form. And I'm gonna mention this very briefly here because this is a person that I can talk about. It's not a big deal. I still consider this guy a friend, whether he sees me as a friend or not. I'm just never going to work with him again because he just keeps going back and forth with drama groups and non-drama groups. So RJ Sandifer, a blind YouTuber, a guy I've known for about 3.5 years now, I guess apparently still follows my content, even though, he goes back and forth from being my friend and talking smack about me. Now, he does have Asperger's and he is a blind man. Asperger's is a form of autism. I get it, right? But he just went live with the stream title, "Why Talking Smack About the Manosphere is Counterproductive." You see, RJ, you're drama marketing and I'm not. I'm not here to talk smack about the Manosphere. I'm here to state my experiences of being a part of it and what I think is good about it and what I think is not good about it. And I truly want to help bring men and women together. But see, RJ, here's the thing. You're just like many other people out there that pretend to disagree with what I'm saying because you're jealous of the fact that I can create good content and speak coherently about these topics and make sense, right? So you're trying to eat off my plate. Well, that's cool, bro. Enjoy your show. And that's that, bro. I wouldn't be surprised, RJ, if you were put up to this by other people just to try to trigger me and get a rise out of me. No one triggers me anymore. No one gets a rise out of me anymore, and it's not a big deal. So enjoy your show, RJ, and I hope everything is doing well for you, man. No worries. No worries. Man, there's a bug in my throat today. It's a bug in my throat. So, continuing on with, my experiences in being a part of MGTOW, being a part of these live stream panels on MGTOW channels or other channels on YouTube years ago that were creating MGTOW content, right? So these guys would come on and just, attack me for just being a good guy and trying to help men and women better understand each other and help men and women find true love that they desire. There's nothing wrong with wanting true love. And after a while, I started to realize there's a lot of these guys and they're conglomerating. They were conglomerating out here on YouTube as an outlet to basically whine and complain and to behave in angry, jaded, and bitter ways. Just a place to voice their frustrations because their marriage didn't work out, right? And then they sit there and attack and blame the woman for everything, right? Now, I'm not saying that these guys didn't have any reason to blame the woman, but to blame the woman completely for everything is absolutely preposterous. Absolutely preposterous, right? Because I used to ask these guys, well, so if you went through a divorce and you're blaming your ex-wife for everything, What was your part in all this? Were you perfect? Are you a perfect guy? Did you not make any mistakes? Why don't you own up to what you did that started causing it to go south, right? And these guys would say, F you, shut up. They would call me names. They would just attack me, right? Because they couldn't handle the truth. They didn't want to hear the truth. The point of the matter is that these guys were just not happy that women have been liberated, are independent, and now are making their own money. And these guys have less control over women in the ways that men had back in the days of traditionalism. Now, back in the days of traditionalism, okay, women were dependent on a man for survival. So once they married a man, okay, they were pretty much stuck with that guy. They were stuck with that guy because they didn't have the same rights they have today. They had no rights. They didn't have, they weren't able to work and provide for themselves, right? They were dependent on the man for survival, right? And even if the man wasn't the nicest guy or wasn't attentive to his wife, wasn't spending time with his wife and taking her on dates and doing all that, even if the man, wasn't doing all that, the woman would stay with him because she had no other choice to stay with him for survival, right? But what kind of a marriage or relationship or bond is that, right? For me, I like being with a woman that I genuinely like and she genuinely likes me. And we can carry on great conversations. We're both equally physically attracted to each other, right? We both respect each other. We both like, taking weekend getaway trips. We love going hiking. We love nice dinners. We enjoy all those things as a couple, right? But these angry and bitter MGTOW guys that had supposedly withdrawn from the plantation and, don't ever want to date or marry a woman again, right? They're projecting all that onto other guys that do want to date and get to know women, and they're causing a big ruckus, right? So they don't take ownership. They don't take ownership of their mistakes, right? These guys, these modern day guys that have gone through divorce over the last 5 to 10 years, they're living in the past. They were trying to control women in the ways that women were able to be controlled in the past during traditionalism when they didn't have the rights they have nowadays, right? In essence, these guys that got divorced and had half their assets taken were being disrespectful and unappreciative to their wives, right? And the truth of the matter is, they're not even angry and bitter at their wife. They're angry and bitter at the system. They blame the system for everything, right? They blame the system for liberating women. If women weren't liberated, this wouldn't be happening. Well, that's true. But also, if women weren't liberated, women would be like slaves. And to me, honestly, I don't want to be with a woman that's my slave. That wouldn't attract me to a woman. I want to be with a woman that has something to bring to the table, that is intelligent, can carry a great conversation, works a job, makes equal money as I do, etc., etc., etc. Give me a second, please. So these guys are living in the past, right? Now, these guys, I did a lot of research on this, right? And I have a lot of data on this. It's all in my head, right? I'm a slight left liberal. I'm a slight left liberal, right? I'm not an extremist. but I'm not an extremist either way. I'm a slight left liberal, but I like views from both sides, both the left and the right, right? I like some conservative views and some liberal views, and other conservative views and liberal views I don't like. I don't like extremism one way or another, right? I'm more so down the middle. But these guys, they call themselves conservatives, right? These guys are, at the very best, conservative extremists, but I don't even consider them conservatives. Because I have a lot of conservative friends here in California where I live that I met through business networking in person over the last 15 years when I was running my insurance business. And I get along with these guys and these ladies that are conservative, whether they're on the left or the right. I get along with these people. I just get along with people, right? So these guys claim to be conservatives, right? And they behave in the most radical ways I've ever seen anyone behave, right? They're extremists, but they're not even conservatives, right? I think, like I've mentioned in the past, I think these guys would be categorized as that new group that was created, the alt-right, the alternative right. These guys are alt-right. These guys are not conservative at all. That's not the way conservative people behave, right? So I'm sharing this with you folks in the Manosphere to understand what you're up against and who you're learning from or listening to when you're following these creators that are always saying the system is against you. You know, it's not, the juice is not worth the squeeze. Don't ever get married. Don't date. Don't do this, right? Now, I'm not saying don't be cautious. Be cautious, because there are women out there that are just like the types of women these other creators are talking about. Okay? But there are also men like that too on the flip side, right? The problem I have with these creators, the problem I have with these angry and bitter men, right, that are not creating content trying to prevent men, to stop men from dating or marrying women or having a family, right? The problem I have with them is they're saying that all women are like that. All women are like this. And the truth of the matter is they're not. All women are not like this, right? And they're saying, well, women are hypergamous, right? Women seek up, right? Of course they do. Of course they do. Women want to find the strongest man, the most attractive and strongest man to procreate with. They've always been that way, right? The difference back in the days was that once they would get married, okay, to you, you were the one providing for them. And if they left you to be out on the street, and a divorced woman that already has kids was not desirable by other men back then, right? So it was a level of control that guys had back in those days, right? And nowadays, because women are liberated, they've been liberated and they make their own money, they're independent. Sorry, they're independent. I'm sorry, the bug's in my throat again. Because women have been liberated, they're independent, they can walk at any moment for whatever reason, right? And to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with that, because women are not going to walk away from a man that treats them right, from a man that's in a good place, that does his part. And if she's a healthy woman, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and all that, she's not going to walk away from a man that's doing his part romantically and taking care of the family, being a good provider, sharing equally in the household responsibilities, etc., right? Now, some of you guys are saying, well, Eli, come on now. They walk for whatever reason, right? A guy blows on them and they cheat on you with that guy that just blows on them at the supermarket, right? Just, whistles at them or something, right? To get their attention, right? Then they hook up with them, right? Some women are like that. Queen, I'm not having side effects from the shot. This has nothing to do with it. I've already been to my doctor many times this year, and I have allergies, and it's always been this way. It's always been this way for me during allergy season. It's just a little bit worse this year, just a little bit, because the pollen level is very, very high. But I appreciate that, Queen. I've been to my doctors. I'm good. So women are hypergamous by nature. But if you take the time to get to know a woman and don't rush into things and don't just marry anyone, right? You take the time to get to know a woman. You're both attracted to each other equally. You take care of yourself as a man. She takes care of herself. You both make an equal income, right? You look at that, right? You both come from a good family. You look at that, right? A lot of guys, that had gone through divorce recently didn't take the time to get to know the woman they were with. They just got with her and eventually married her because they wanted kids, right? And even if she was the right woman, they ended up becoming complacent, lazy. They gained weight. They stopped taking care of themselves. They stopped doing the things that they were doing when they first met their wife while they were dating her, right? The dating and courting process never stops. That's why these women are hypergamous and they leave you guys, because you stop being the same person you were when you first met them. Why would you want to marry a woman or be with a woman and continue to be with a woman if you're not enjoying the same things you enjoyed when you first got together? If the sex stops, if you stop going on hikes, nice dinners, and you start going on dates, even after you have kids, if you stop doing that, it's not the same thing. It's going to end. Of course, she's going to be hypergamous. But these guys like to say all women are like that, right? But they don't take responsibility for their actions or lack of actions that are necessary for any marriage or relationship to work, right? They like to blame everything on not just that one woman that did it to them, but all women. They like to categorize all women, right? And now these guys have decided they're going to walk up the plantation. They don't want to date or marry women, and they want to prevent as many men as possible from dating or marrying women because they don't want men to go through what they went through, right? But are these men really going their own way? Like my title says, Manosphere, listen up to this. This is the point here. Are these men really men that are going their own way? Have they really withdrawn from the plantation? Do they really want to withdraw? Or is the truth of the matter they're an incel? If you don't know what an incel is an involuntary celibate. An involuntary celibate is a man that no matter how hard he tries to get intimacy from any woman, no matter what he says or does, he can't get any woman to be intimate with him. That's an involuntary celibate, right? A lot of these angry and bitter men would come out here on YouTube and not even show their face or use their name because, number one, they didn't want to get attacked for their BS. Number two, they didn't want to show how out of shape they were or unattractive they were, right? But they would hide behind the computer and run their mouths, right? And come at people like me that show my face, take care of myself, I'm healthy and fit, etc., and are in a good place and are trying to help people, find true love and happiness. They're trying to kick people like me down. Why? Because they're unhappy within themselves. They let themselves go. They gave up on themselves. The woman they were with, the woman they were married to, surpassed them, right? And they weren't happy about that, right? Right? And they're angry. They're bitter. And because their life has become so pathetic and miserable, they don't feel any other guy should have a happy life with a woman, right? These guys came at me and tried to destroy my business, destroy my reputation. All these people, like primarily out here on YouTube from this MGTOW community, are so angry and bitter and jaded and just very hateful people, right? Very insecure, immature people. These are guys that were coming out on these live streams and saying, you know, they're a real man and real men do this. No, dude, you guys are not real men. You guys are the complete opposite of a real man. You guys are behaving like a little teeny tiny female dog, right? You are. Masculine energy is not about whining and complaining all day, every day about women because you went through a divorce, because you can't admit that you let yourself go. You let yourself go. You became complacent. You probably gained a lot of weight. Maybe, you lost your job, or maybe you're at a job that, didn't make, a decent amount of money, and your wife surpassed you in the earning status, right? These guys take no ownership, right? They take no ownership for their mistake, for anything that, they've done as a part of how their life ended up to be. I really want you guys in the Manosphere to understand that when you're watching these creators, you young guys out there in your 20s and your 30s, right? You're watching these guys in their 40s and 50s that are talking about this stuff. Now, some of them get it right, but most of them, they're angry and bitter guys. And they're just looking to make some money while they're getting angry and bitter and projecting, their horrible lifestyle onto you and trying to get you to believe that, hey, if you don't want to go through what I went through, just don't do it, right? But they're not telling you, like I said, why. They're not telling you why they got divorced. They're not telling you the mistakes they made so you can learn to become a better man and not make those mistakes and create yourself to be, make yourself to be, and work on yourself to be the best version of you that you can be. Instead of being a whiner and complainer, saying that the stove is too hot, women are impossible nowadays. Women are gold diggers. They're this, they're that, right? Some of them are, right? Some guys on the flip side are not good guys. There are bad and good men and women. There are bad and good people out there. It doesn't mean everyone is like that. We cannot categorize each individual person as the same. These MGTOW creators are categorizing women in the same way. They're saying that they're all like that. And I will tell you guys, I'm pretty transparent with, my dating life on this, on my YouTube channel and, wherever I put up my content, right? I'm pretty transparent. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but I will tell you, I have been meeting some women lately. And if I really wanted to have something with any one of them, I could have. I've met 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 women over the last maybe, 3 weeks or so. And they were nice women and they really liked me. But after meeting them and being around them, and they were nice to me and they wanted to see me, right? I didn't feel something after meeting them. And did it have to do with their physical attraction? No. Did it have to do with them not being open to intimacy or all that? No, it had nothing to do with that. I could have had all that with all of them. I didn't. And I'll tell you why. Because one of the most important things to me involving a connection with a woman, okay, is how she communicates, how open she is, right? What also attracts me to a woman in this modern world is, what is her purpose, right? We've never talked about, what's a woman's purpose? Because it's always been, in the past, known to be barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, all that kind of stereotypical stuff, right? Which used to be a part of traditionalism. The wife stays at home, she has kids, she gives birth to the kids, she cooks, she cleans, she has tea parties with the ladies, right? That was a woman's purpose back then. But now, because women are liberated, they have a similar purpose like men do. They're still women, but women have a purpose now, and their purpose is what they do for a living, what they enjoy doing to help people, to make money. Like, do they have a job that they love doing besides just making money, to say, hey, I'm a liberated, independent woman, I don't need a man for anything, right? My last two girlfriends, despite how their relationship ended, one of the most attractive things about them to me, it wasn't the only thing, but one of the most attractive things about them to me was their career. Oh, did we just get cut off a second ago? We had one disconnect. Before that, it was good. Queen, how many disconnects have we had tonight? Has it been pretty good so far? Looks like OBS cut me off about 5 minutes ago, and it reconnected right away. I think it's been pretty good. I think so. Yeah, if you can let me know, Queen, if you're still around, that would be great. It's been good on my end. Okay, Queen, that's great. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. My ex had a degree in early childhood development. Still has. And she ran and still probably runs a very successful in-home daycare service. Makes very good money and takes care of kids during the day. And her business is amazing. Like, I've never seen anyone that does what she does do it as good as her. She really loved what she did and what she does. My ex before that was a veterinarian. She loved animals. Not only did she make good money, and she was in a prominent field, she had 4 animals herself, 2 cats and 2 dogs. Now I'm getting an error that's saying, error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience buffering. See, what's going on now? This is the kind of stuff that just happens out of the blue. It has nothing to do with my connection or YouTube's. It has to do with probably what's happening in between on the network connection. But anyway, it looks like it's rolling smoothly. So like I said, I respected these women because I respected their purpose, right? I was thinking about this, and I'm going to do a stream on this probably tomorrow or one of these days. How important is a woman's purpose to a relationship in the modern world? I've been trying to figure out what really. I've been meeting women. I've been meeting some women lately, and look, I put myself out there. I've been meeting some women lately. These women wanted to date me. They wanted to be with me, right? They were good women, right? And yes, there were some other things. One had a hygiene issue. That's not going to work. But what was the main reason why I didn't give these women a second chance? I was the one that decided to not see them again. It was because I couldn't clearly see what their purpose was. I didn't feel that what they did for a living they were happy about. I didn't feel it defined them. I feel that they were doing it just to make money, right? I'm more so attracted to women that get into a career or do a job that defines their purpose of who they are and what they believe in and stand for, right? Food for thought, right? So that's where I'm going to wrap up this monologue. I've been on for 50 minutes already. I was going to go over this article before I go on break. And the article's from The Guardian. It's titled, Men Going Their Own Way, The Rise of a Toxic Male Separatist Movement. So I'm going to go over that before taking the break, but now I'm going to take a break. I'm probably going to be on here a little bit longer than I figured I would be. I'm probably going to be on here 2.5 hours now. I'm probably going to take a couple of breaks, right? I'm going to come and read this. Then I'm going to get to the first of 3 Reddit postings. The Reddit posting I'm going to go over is from the subreddit Purple Pill Debate, and the title is, Do People Just Use This Sub as the New Red Pill Sub because the rest is all banned quarantine? Do people just use this sub as the new Red Pill sub because the rest is all banned quarantine, right? Interesting. And then in the third segment, I have a couple of stories to share from the subreddit dating and then the other subreddit relationship_advice. People should be more blunt when giving dating advice is one, and am I in the wrong? A story shared by a woman. An interesting story, relationship story. I want to share this. So you guys can actually, see that there are some women out there that you have to watch out for. And there are some things you need to look for to try to find someone that's a good fit, that's in a good and healthy place for a relationship. We'll talk more about that during the third segment. But like I said, when I get back, we're going to go over this Guardian blog posting by a lady named Laura Bates. It was written Wednesday, August 26, 2020. Men going their own way, the rise of a toxic male separatist movement. So let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music, and then we will definitely get to that. I still have that error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience buffering. Queen, you're probably not buffering. That's probably like a false positive. A lot of those happen. It will probably go away by the time I get back from the break. All right, let's cue up some music here. Do-do-do-do. Boo-do-boo-do-boo-boo-boo-doo. Do-do-do-do-do. And just one more. Nothing buffering on my end. Cool, Queen. It's a false positive. It happens sometimes. You know, with technology, right? All right, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for an 8 to 10 minute break or so, and we'll get to that Guardian article, blog article, when I return. So stick around. We'll be right Oh yeah, we're back. We're back. We're back. Yeah, we're back. We're back. We are back. Straighten yourself up there, Eli. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get right back to it. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli Television Network, primarily broadcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. That's youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. We're also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. If you're on Facebook and D Live and want to get more than just these in-studio live stream simulcasts, you're going to have to come and join me over on YouTube, where I also put out pre-recorded content on occasion. Going to be more than on occasion coming soon. I also do occasional mobile streams from my beautiful, amazing iPhone 12 Pro Max that I just love so much. I love these smartphones, don't you? That's sarcasm, right? They're good for some things, but they've screwed us up in many other ways where we have no more attention span because of them. But hey, I use a smartphone for the right reasons. I also am a monetized channel on YouTube, and I do have a members-only package, or I have 5 members-only packages that get you the same thing: members-only live streams and members-only pre-recorded videos for as little as $4.99 per month, or as much as $99.99 per month. It's up to you how much you want to, donate to become a sponsor of the channel and get exclusive access to members-only content. All 5 of my members-only packages get you the same thing. It's just, again, how much you want to contribute to the channel on a monthly basis to support it. All right. Tonight, we've been discussing, are men really going their own way? Manosphere, listen up for the truth. One more time, are men really going their own way? Manosphere, listen up for the truth. If you missed the first part of the show, I took the first 50 minutes and I did an extended monologue. I just had to go through it, and I had to go through the whole story pretty much for the most part. I mean, I didn't share everything. If I shared everything that I've experienced through the MGTOW community and dealing with some of these people that say, we've walked off the plantation, we're going our own way, and we feel all men should do this. If you missed the first part, go back and check out the replay, because it will give you a pretty good overview of how the rest of the show is going to go. And it will also get you guys out there, especially you guys in your teens and your 20s and maybe your early 30s that are following a lot of these very angry and bitter and jaded male creators out here, thinking that that's going to, make you a happier person or a better man. In all honesty, all you're doing is, in my opinion, helping them either make money if they're monetizing their channel, or you're just, helping them, overcome a bruised ego. That's what it is. A lot of these guys out here, even these creators in their 30s and 40s and 50s that are doing this type of content, are using this as an outlet, and they're seeking your validation to feel better about themselves. And validation-seeking behavior is not masculine energy. So you guys are being misled and misguided. Plus, go back and watch the replay of my stream from yesterday. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, the replay is available. If you're on D Live, come on over to YouTube and watch my stream from yesterday, where I was discussing, let me read you the topic one more time. MGTOW, PUA, Manosphere men. You are being misguided. Who can you trust? Check it out. It was a very, very good show. All right. So now, excuse me a second here. Give me a second. Okay, so now I'm going to get to this Guardian article. We're going to switch over to the browser source. And I'm gonna read this. I may not go through the whole thing; it's pretty long, but I'll go through probably most of it and share my thoughts. This article titled "Men Going Their Own Way: The Rise of a Toxic Male Separatist Movement," written by Laura Bates, pretty attractive woman. You see her right there, probably like in her 20s, maybe early 30s. Written Wednesday, August 26, 2020, so about a year ago. Very relevant. And this is pretty interesting. Let's get right down to it. Let's get to it. The men of the MGTOW movement aim to live their lives with no female contact. I'm just going to laugh. That's horrible. It's a horrible way to live your life. The idea began on the fringes of the internet. So how has it made it all the way to the White House? Really? Wow. There has been an awakening, changing the world one man at a time. These are the dramatic words that appear when you visit MGTOW.com. In a video that looks a lot like an action movie trailer, the words are soon followed by 5 more that appear to smash through the screen. Whoa! Are you a modern man struggling with women? Do you understand modern female nature? Do you understand the court system is against you? Do you understand that modern day, divorce and child custody laws are not in your favor? Do you want to protect your resources, men? Right? That's what they kind of do, right? So the words soon followed by 5 more that appear to smash through the screen, smoldering fiery red, men going their own way. If you stumbled across this website and had never heard of Men Going Their Own Way, MGTOW, before, you would probably assume this was a tiny extreme movement, but you would be only half right. No, it's a pretty big movement. And like I said, during the first part of the show, and I've said in the past, a lot of the information that MGTOW teaches about modern female nature is true. But not all women are like that. They're trying to teach you, in my opinion, to identify the wrong type of woman and avoid that type of woman, or you're going to go through this. And focus, if you want to date and marry a woman, focus on a better woman by better qualifying her, right? And that's what I do here. I help people learn how to better qualify their dating prospects. The views of MGTOW are indeed unorthodox. I wouldn't say they're unorthodox. A lot of what they say is true. It's just that they're trying to say all women are like that, and they're not. So I wouldn't say they're unorthodox. I think the things the women are doing that MGTOW is talking about are unorthodox. And that's where the confusion is right there, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean all women are behaving in those unorthodox ways, like the MGTOWs are talking about. And they're saying that all women are like that, and they're not. Even within the sprawling web of groups, lifestyles, and cults known as the Manosphere, right? Manosphere, where women haters mobilize against a supposed gynocentric conspiracy. Wow. While incels plot violent revenge on women. Listen to that. I agree. Listen, Manosphere guys out there that are really, truly looking to better your lives, find true love, find a good woman, get a good job, have a family, have a good life, right? You are taking advice from incels, involuntary celibate men that were married, got divorced because they stopped taking care of themselves. They stopped being the same man they were when they first were dating their wife before they married her. They figured once, we get married, we can let ourselves go and our woman will be with us forever. But no, it's not the way it works. And pickup artist PUAs deploy predatory tactics to game women into having sex with them. I talked about that yesterday. Go watch that stream yesterday where I talked about MGTOW, PUA, etc., right? I shared my thoughts about it. The men of the MGTOW attempt to eschew relationships with women together. Meaning they're attempting to say, hey, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Withdraw completely. Leave the plantation, figuratively speaking, right? They are literally going their own way, far, far away from any woman at all. In a galaxy far, far away, where there are no women. We have a bunch of angry and bitter men because they gave up on themselves and they weren't the same guy they were when they first met their woman. And now the woman divorced them because they're a different man, because they became complacent, right? Although some MGTOW maintain platonic relationships with women and others have one-night stands or visit sex workers, that's called pumping and dumping, many prefer to abstain from sex, a process referred to as going monk. Man, this woman has it down. I got to tell you, this woman did her research. This is true. Yeah, MGTOW monks. Calling yourself a MGTOW monk is saying, I am an incel. I can't get women to be intimate with me or be with me so I'm just going to say I'm going monk or I'm a monk because it sounds better than admitting I'm not good enough for women, right? Well, you are good enough for women, but maybe you let yourself go. Maybe you gain some weight. Maybe you don't dress or smell as nice as you used to. And most importantly, your attitude sucks. So what's attractive about that, right? Just because you went through one divorce and you went through, something traumatic in a relationship doesn't mean every other woman is like that. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of women like that, right? But not all women are like that. And that's what MGTOW is trying to instill in these guys' brains. That is definitely not the case, okay? This is too much for some members of the wider Manosphere. The blogger Matt Forney, notorious for posts such as "Why Fat Girls Don't Deserve to Be Loved" and "The Necessity of Domestic Violence," wrote that men going their own way is no way for men to go, and mocked MGTOW as a cult for lonely virgins. Well, I would agree with that, and I'll add furthermore to it. There are men out there that used to take care of themselves, in good shape, look good, and they could get women, and they would get intimacy from women, but they let themselves go to an undesirable level. To those guys out there that have let themselves go to an undesirable level, if you want a woman to look good and be good to you and take care of herself, why wouldn't you think she deserves to have the same thing in return, right? These are some very, very hurt and broken men. A lot of these guys come from broken households. They didn't have a good upbringing. They have unresolved traumatic issues, probably stemming back to their childhood and in between their childhood and now as well. These aren't healthy men, guys, that you're following on the internet and taking advice from. When I was following these types of guys, and I was in one of the best relationships I ever had, I was becoming angry and bitter myself. Let me tell you, I'm a good dude that comes from a good family, and hanging around these people started making me become like one of them, and I didn't want to be like them, so I had to withdraw. But guess what? Then you try to withdraw from these groups, especially if you're out here on YouTube, and you get attacked by all these people, right? You get attacked on the platform. It's pretty insane. It's insane in the membrane. Some of you remember that song, right? But this isn't an obscure internet cul-de-sac. MGTOW.com alone has almost 33,000 members. That's not a whole lot. Its forums for men only contain conversations on more than 50,000 topics with more than 790,000 replies. That's nothing compared to the amount of attention women get. which range from advice on divorcing as cheaply as possible to lurid stories about women who have found particularly innovative ways to murder their husbands. The site also lists 25 video channels between them. These have more than 730,000 followers, and their videos have been viewed a total of 130 million times. Okay, it's getting around. On YouTube, one of the best-known MGTOW bloggers who goes by the name of Sandman here. I'm not really too fond of Sandman. He has okay content. I used to follow him in the past, but Sandman's one of those guys. He lives in Toronto, Canada, I believe. Doesn't show his face. We don't know his name. I cannot respect any creator that doesn't show their face and put out their name. Okay? Look, if you're going to talk about certain things, then you got to be a man about it and show your face and put your name out there and deal with the repercussion of what you say. Be a man about it. That's what I did. And yeah, I got attacked for many, many years until I figured out how to block it all out and not let it get to me, right? But yeah, I know about Sandman. Has racked up more than 90 million views for videos with titles ranging from "Smart Men Don't Get Married" to "Criticize Her and She Will Destroy Your Career." Why criticize her if she's working and trying to better herself? What's wrong with women working and getting into careers, right? Right? What's wrong with women wanting a good-looking man that makes good money, that comes from a good family, right? That dresses nice, smells nice, right? That's what you guys want in a woman. The funny thing is that these guys are angry because women want a man to have all the same things that a man is looking for in a woman. You guys are hypocrites, man. Hypocritical incels that let themselves go, and you're no longer appealing or attractive, or you've gotten older to the point of where you feel it's too late to make changes to yourself to be appealing and attractive again. It's never too late to fix yourself at any age. Never too late. The MGTOW philosophy is elaborately laid out on the MGTOW.com website, which summarizes it as a statement of self-ownership where the modern man preserves and protects his own sovereignty above all else. Drawing on snippets of quotes and newspaper clippings, the site claims that MGTOW dates back to great men, including, I can't even pronounce that, Schopenhauer, Beethoven, and Galileo, and even Jesus Christ. I wouldn't compare any of these MGTOW guys that have created content to these good guys here, these good, famous men from the past. Women are essentially portrayed as parasites, riding on the coattails of men who have, throughout history, been responsible for far greater miracles of science, discovery, and human endeavor. By shaking women off, it is explained men will be free to pursue even higher achievements. You know what? Let me tell you something. There's no better feeling that I have when I'm with a good woman and she's there to support my purpose. But I have to have a purpose for her to support and for her to be attracted to me. Women are attracted to a man's purpose. And to be honest, like I just even figured this out myself. I figured out what I'm most attracted to a woman about, her purpose. Women are liberated. They're working. They have a purpose now beyond just being the housewife, barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning, and doing all that stuff, right? Women have a purpose, right? That's what I'm attracted to, is a woman's purpose. But she has to be a good woman too and be able to balance her work and personal life, but still love what she does. I love this. I feel like I found the secret to the universe. A user comments in MGTOW.com's testimonial section. Another writes that his city has become so ultra-feminized that things are mind-blowingly bad for men here, especially straight white men. This is all stereotyping and generalizing. This is just horrible. Elsewhere, philosophy and opinions are mixed with a heavy dose of deeply misogynistic advice, such as this from the FAQ section of a different MGTOW website. My girlfriend is pregnant. What do I do? Well, you're there for her, you support her, you make it work, and you're there for the kid. Why would you get somebody pregnant that you didn't want to? Well, she said she was on the pill. Come on, bro. Well, she told me that, right now she can't get pregnant. It's not that time of the month. She's not ovulating. Dude, come on. You guys. Ah, God. Whatever you do, do not invite her into the hot tub with champagne to celebrate. This can cause a miscarriage and she could lose the baby. Oh my God, this is pathetic. Repeat, you should not under any circumstances do that as quickly as possible. Guys, these are angry and bitter men that are jaded because they became complacent and they got divorced or dumped, and their relationship or marriage cost them a lot of money. The truth of the matter is it was their fault. A lot of these men, most of these men, if not all of them, are not owning up to their mistakes. They're trying to teach you how to live your life in this modern world by withdrawing from all women, because all women are bad, right? It is impossible to know how seriously a comment like this is meant. Oh, these guys take it at face value. That's why I'm trying to raise awareness and say, these are not the guys you should trust to follow if you guys want to have a happy and healthy life. But whether the original writer intended simply to shock or entertain, it is also impossible to know how it might be interpreted. That's why I'm doing this, because these younger guys don't have the experience that we do, and they're going to take your word as gospel, and it's not right. You're misguiding them, misleading them because of your anger and bitterness. MGTOW pronounced MGTOW by adherents are unlikely to meet in person, instead sharing their techniques, success, and failures online. They hide in plain sight. They don't show their face. They don't use their name, but they use their voice or their keyboard, and they talk a bunch of smack that I can't respect or value because you're too chicken of a man to put your name out there and show your face. Chicken, right? You're chicken about getting repercussions of your words and your actions, right? What kind of a man is chicken to face the repercussions of his words and actions? Not a real man would not be afraid. You guys are not real men that are doing this. Sorry, it's the truth. Throughout the Manosphere, it is common to see members expressing paranoia about normies who could be out to expose them, often leading to forum users accusing each other of being moles or spies. That's called drama. These channels, these groups, have endless amounts of drama. I've been involved with these types of groups. You can get stuck and sucked into this vortex, and it is very hard to get out. Don't get involved with groups like these. And if you do somehow get involved, leave quickly. And if they attack you and talk smack about you, ignore them like I do and avoid them like the plague. They'll eventually all fizzle out. They'll get tired. It's like a screaming baby. A screaming baby will eventually wear its lungs out and will stop. Okay? Nowhere is this fear more prevalent than among MGTOW, with any suggestion of meeting in real life usually receiving a swift and scornful rebuttal. Yeah, we're going to all just hide in plain sight. We're all going to, because of the internet now, we're going to talk smack about women. We're not going to show our face or use our name. We'll just use our voice on some live stream YouTube panels or Reddit forums and just, run our mouths, right, to make ourselves feel better because we're insecure, right? And real men are insecure, right? Wrong. You know what I'm saying, right? Once you have taken the red pill, i.e. open your eyes to the reality that as a man, the whole world is stacked against you, the red pill is a good thing to have knowledge of. I firmly believe all men need to have red pill knowledge, because there are some women out there, maybe many, that do the things MGTOWs talk about. But not all women are like that, which is another thing that MGTOW preaches. All women are like that, right? They say there are no NAWALTs, NAWALTS. A NAWALT is a not all women are like that, right? And if you are a good guy like me and you say not all women are like that, you get scrutinized by these pathetic, immature, insecure, mentally and emotionally unstable incel men. So it's the truth. There are 4 main levels of MGTOW according to many websites. Level 1 involves rejecting long-term relationships, while Level 2 extends this to short-term relationships. Level 3 requires economic disengagement, reducing taxation as far as possible in order to avoid paying towards the support of other groups, from elite alphas to single mothers. As one MGTOW manifesto puts it, as well as fighting to instill masculinity in men, MGTOW must work towards limited government. I'm not big on government myself, but we need to have government or things would be worse than they are. Trust me on that. And instill masculinity in men. This is not instilling masculinity in men. This is a bunch of angry and bitter men that are whining and complaining because they got dumped for not being the same person they were when they first met their wife while they were dating. These guys are not willing to own up to what they did wrong in their relationship, right? They're not. And they're stuck in the past, in the days of traditionalism, where it didn't matter whether they did things right or wrong. Women were dependent on men for survival, so they stuck around regardless for the most part back then. These guys are living in the past, right? Now, I'm not all for a progressive environment. I do like some, if not many, things that have progressed, but there are some things that, are progressing that are taken too far. I don't like the extreme progressive stuff. I like normal progression, but not extreme progression. Okay? Let me check out the chat here real quick. Okay, we're all in the clear. We're good. We're good. Okay. Level 4 is described as social rejection. The MGTOW drops out of society altogether, says the MGTOW blogger by the Observer Watches. For all intents and purposes, he does not exist. An urbanite might keep to his own apartment, while someone further out may simply head into the wilderness and go off grid. Yeah, I've heard. I have almost 5 years of experience, and I will tell you, this woman so far is 100% spot on. I'm proud of this woman. She's done her research, and she's being real about it. A lot of the stuff she's talking about, I talked about during the first part of the show. Those who achieve this ultimate isolation are known as ghosts and treated as legends within the community. Yeah, you're going to go run up to some deserted island, be by yourself, right? Far, far away from government, any socialization, and any female, right? That's a fun and great way to live life. That's absolutely pathetic. But most MGTOW seem happy hovering somewhere around level 2. Discussions tend to center on classic Manosphere complaints, such as the evils of women and misandry. There's a channel called Misandry Today. I remember that guy. He was interviewed on his channel, DDJ. He's still around, actually. Hatred of men. Most of all, they focus on the dangers of interacting with women. The dangers of interacting with women. Well, some women are probably dangerous to interact with. But a lot of women are good women too. I've come across them. I've come across good and bad women. There are good and bad men and women. There are good and bad people, right? This is a huge generalization and stereotype. Man, this is just horrible how these guys think, right? There is a lot of risk. David Sherritt, an 18 years old, an 18-year-old Cardiff University student, and then dedicated member of the MGTOW community. These MGTOWs are getting to the young guys. Noted in 2015, we do not know how many false accusations there are. That does happen. All these things that MGTOW is talking about does happen. But not every woman is like that. And it all depends on how you behave. If you're a guy that violates a woman legitimately, you're going to get accused of something. Just don't do anything stupid. They could be the majority or they could be the minority. The implication was that there are so many women ready to lie about rape that any contact with them is simply too dangerous to risk. That's not true. That's pathetic. Let's just go on. I don't even want to hear it. That is not true. There are women that will do that. The women that do that typically are women that you can figure out are that way fairly quickly because their behavior, when you first start getting to know them, is going to be off. You ask a lot of questions, they're going to be closed off. It's about the type of women that you guys are going after. Don't go after women just because they're hot. You want to make sure they have a great personality and they're very mentally and emotionally healthy as well. In reality, a man in the UK is 230 times more likely to be raped himself than falsely accused of rape. Well, that's pretty interesting. That's the first I've heard of that. And this MGTOW resembles men's rights activist MRAs. We forgot about the MRAs, too. More than incels or PUAs. Both groups believe that women pose an immediate threat to all men. MRAs believe that women are so unfaithful and untruthful that they often force men to raise other men's children, thus financially cuckolding them. I can't believe she wrote that, cuckolding them. You can look up that word yourself. MGTOW believe that women are extremely likely to make false accusations of sexual domestic violence in order to damage men socially, steal their money, or even have them jailed. There are some women that will do that if you push them to that level. Those are typically mentally and emotionally unstable women that you can pick up on those instabilities if you get to know them initially. One phone call with them or one meeting with them, and you'll see that, and then you withdraw. But you guys stick around because it's a hot woman giving you some attention, right? Sherritt also went on to cite a list of concerns that would resonate particularly close with MRAs, including men are supposed to pay for dates and bow down to women. Anything less than worship is hate. It's not about that. It's not about bowing down and worshiping a woman. It's basically, for me, if I'm with a good woman, I know that is with me for the right reasons. Okay, here's the thing. The moment that I'm intimate with a woman, like after the first time we're intimate and we have sex and we're hanging out more than a couple times, then I know she's invested in me, right? At that point, I'll take her out to dinner. I love taking women out to dinner, a woman like that out to dinner. I love paying for a woman. I'm an old school traditional type of guy to a certain extent, but I also understand the modern woman as well, right? So the way you guys are presenting this is misleading and misguiding to guys. You're making it seem like, men are supposed to pay for dates and bow down to women. No. It's about respect, mutual respect. It's about what makes a man feel like a man. It makes me feel like a man to pick up my lady and to drive her and to pay for dinners, right? I choose to do that. I choose to do that knowing that, hey, at one point she may not want to be with me anymore. But I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. And if it lasts forever, then that's even better than that. That's the way I look at it. And when it comes to marriage, the system is so stacked against men, it does not make sense. Well, that's why you need to marry a woman that makes similar money and has similar resources as you do. Then there's no problem. Okay? MGTOW and MRAs alike see divorce as deeply one-sided, allowing women to rob innocent men of money, property, and in some cases, children. I was on some live stream panels with some of these MGTOW guys when I was dating my ex, right? My ex and I made similar money, right? And I told them that. And they're like, well, dude, still the system is against you, dude. Still, she could still, get your money. I'm like, dude, listen, you have your opinion. I get that. And you're just angry and bitter. I would call these guys out and it would trigger them, right? And I learned I just had to withdraw myself from these groups and ignore these people, because even once you withdraw from these groups, right, they're gonna attack you because they're gonna feel like they were used, or they're just gonna feel like you don't care about them, right? A lot of these guys are just crazy, right? Unable to stop thinking about Sherrod, I tracked him down to ask about his experience of becoming involved in the community. Now 22, Sherrod is an engineering apprentice, and he says he has left MGTOW and other Manosphere groups behind. And so have I. I still pay attention to the content for one reason, because I want to know what's going on so I can truly help these men, should they decide to give me a chance to help them or they come across my content, right? At first, he says they were legitimately fun. I had lots of friends, which was new to me, lots of fans and positive reinforcement. I felt the same way. I already had friends, but I made a lot more friends, and my YouTube channel was growing. But it was a false sense of friendship and growth. As we started to grow and build, it honestly felt like we were eventually going to start making some positive change. That's what they do. They love bomb you. And then once they get you indoctrinated and sucked in, then they flip it on you. And then if you try to leave, it's like the Church of Scientology. They attack you for a long time, right? It wasn't just a community, but a new growing movement that I got into before it was cool. So in a way, I felt like I was part of something progressive. Okay, there's that word progressive again. Sherrod could not, however, claim to be a pioneer. It is generally accepted within the MGTOW community that the movement was started in the mid-2000s is what it is, right? That's about right. It's been around for about 15 or 20 years. By two men going the pseudonyms Solaris, an Australian, and Ragnar, a Scandinavian, who describes himself as an old guy and a former pilot, both of whom had been previously active in what they described as the online men's movement. A sense of alienation is where this whole thing starts. Solaris claimed in a 2012 YouTube interview, you realize simply because you're a man that you're considered a legitimate target for being the butt of jokes or being considered a class enemy. Listen, guys, back in the days of traditionalism, even before, this third wave of the women's movement, which started happening like in the 2000s, right? The 90s or so, right? Okay, guys were always making fun of women. Guys were joking about women in the same ways that women are now joking about men because they've been liberated. Now they can actually talk. They have freedom of speech, right? Okay? So what's the problem? You're getting mad at women for doing the same things that you've always done to them. I don't get that. How much longer do we have here? That's pretty long. I'm not going to go through the rest of this. What I'm going to do, let me read one more paragraph here. As with many areas of the Manosphere, it is difficult to know where most users of MGTOW forums and communities are based. Though the majority communicate in English, and comments and usernames suggest that the US, Canada, and the UK are common locations. Those are the three countries that I've dealt with the most. I've met people from the UK, Canada, and here in the US where I live. As a MGTOW.com post entitled "Hello from the UK" draws enthusiastic replies from fellow Brits who claim to be writing from areas including the Midlands, Sussex, and Salford. They reveal in their shared ideology as much as their shared location, heartily agreeing with the participants' opening salvo, fucking women, they all snakes with, I'm not going to say that, with boobies, right? Okay. Folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just share this one article from The Guardian in the description section of YouTube. Source. I just added it there, so if you refresh or watch it on the replay, you'll be able to see it in the YouTube description section. I will also share it in the YouTube chat, the D Live chat, and the Facebook chat. So go and check out the rest of it if you'd like. Pretty interesting read. And I believe there are some comments below too. No, there are no comments here. I guess comments were not allowed here. I wonder why. That's interesting. All right, so we are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. That took a while, so I'm going to take another break right now. And, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come back and go over one more Reddit posting. And I'm going to save the other 2 Reddit postings for tomorrow's show. Because we're getting close to 2 hours already, and I need to wrap this up soon. And plus, the other 2 postings are not directly related to the topic. The one I will go over when I get back from the subreddit Purple Pill Debate is, and that's titled, as you see right there, do people just use this sub as the new Red Pill sub because the rest is all bad quarantine? I thought that was very, very interesting. Oops. So let me go back to full screen and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. We're at 1 hour and 46 minutes. Boo-doo-boo-boo. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, just a second. Yeah, men really aren't going their own way. There are just guys that have become incels, involuntary celibates, that are angry and bitter. Because if they were able to, you know, attract women like they used to when they were taking care of themselves, they wouldn't be angry and bitter. I agree with the people, even the women that say these guys are incels. They are. They are. You guys out there in the Manosphere that are following these angry and bitter and jaded men that have gone through divorce and talk smack about women all day, every day, about everything. They say women are wrong about everything. Dude, you know, guys, this is the wrong advice. You're doing yourself a disservice. Okay? These guys are not really men that are going their own way. Okay? Let's cue up that music. I think I've addressed that aspect enough. Need a couple more. All right, music is all queued up. Let's step away for a quick break, and we'll get to the Reddit posting when I get back. Stick around, stick around, stick around. We'll be right back. spilled a little coffee on my white shirt. A little speck of coffee seen clearly in high definition, right? Nice and mellow, yeah. When you get to the state of happiness and peace that I'm in, trust me, you're going to love your life so much better. Get rid of all that unnecessary drama. I'll share a little bit about that at the beginning of this segment here in a second. The song is called Keep Dreaming from the YouTube audio library by Topher Moore and Alex Elena. It's a beautiful song. All right. Welcome back to the third and final segment of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli Television Network, primarily broadcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. We're also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. If you want to get a lot more than just these in-studio live stream simulcasts on Facebook and D Live, come over to YouTube. My channel is Coach Eli, Elias Melas. You can search for it or go to youtube.com/Life Coach Eli for lots more content, pre-recorded content, members-only content, and exclusive mobile live streams from my iPhone 12 Pro Max, only available on YouTube. So yeah, come on over, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, and you won't miss anything. And I really would love to help you folks get the best possible grip on your life so you can all truly accomplish whatever it is that your hearts desire. Tonight we're discussing, are men really going their own way? Manosphere, listen up for the truth. One more time. Are men really going their own way? Manosphere, listen up for the truth. Now look, I don't expect anyone to believe me or trust me. That's up to you. I'm a good person, I have a good heart, and I truly care about people. I can come out here on YouTube, Facebook, D Live, or all over social media and preach this until the day I die, right? And hey, I still can't expect you to believe me. All I can do is keep moving forward by, first of all, showing you folks I believe in myself, and that's where it starts. And that's what you have to look at when you're following other creators or following their advice, or being able to believe what they're saying is real. You have to get that feeling that they believe in themselves. That's the most important thing there. Now, I want to mention something very, very briefly here. Again, I know there are a lot of people I've met primarily on the YouTube platform that are still a part of these types of MGTOW groups or Manosphere groups. A lot of these Manosphere groups have women in them as well, which brings a whole other dynamic. And it creates just a whole mess of endless, nonsensical, stupid drama, pointless drama. A lot of it, if not all of it, is fabricated so that creators can get attention and make money, etc., right? And what I want to say to those people out there, there are some people that I really, really care that are, entangled in these groups. Get out. Because until you're able to get out, you're not going to be able to move forward and accomplish what you want to accomplish. You're wasting your time, your energy, and you're doing this at the expense of your sanity. Trust me on that. I've been through this for the last 4 years. Like I was dealing with this for so many years, trying to help people like this. You cannot help people like this, folks. They have their mindset. They're mentally and emotionally unstable. Okay? They're angry and jaded and bitter, right? They're set in their ways. They're not open to suggestions and change, right? Okay? You're fighting a battle that you're never ever going to win. It's like taking your fist and punching a brick wall. That brick wall is not going anywhere. You're probably going to break your hand while you're doing that, right? It's not worth it. Anyway, let's go and read the final thing I'm going to read tonight. Let's go over to the browser source because I am a little bit tired, to be honest with you, and this stream did take a lot out of me, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so my energy level is a little bit low, even though you probably can't tell. We're at 2 hours and 2 minutes. Let's get to this Reddit posting from the subreddit Purple Pill Debate, one of my favorite ones. And the title is, do people just use this sub as the new Red Pill sub because the rest is all banned quarantine? Should be the rest are all banned quarantine. That probably. I'd have to guess yes, even though some people are going to probably say no. But let's see what the poster said. I couldn't put my finger on it why this sub changed so much over the last few years. I used to have pretty interesting discussions between red pill and blue pill people, but this has shifted, and now I just see mostly internal red pill debate despite the rules forbidding it. Well, they want to get engagement and interaction. And a lot of times, you know, when people create rules, they're not really rules, they're guidelines. Like YouTube calls them community guidelines. Guidelines are not rules set in stone. They're guidelines saying that it's at our discretion if we want to allow this or not. But our guidelines suggest that you try to stay away from this as much as possible. That's what it means, right? But this has shifted, and now I just see mostly internal red pill debate despite the rules forbidding it in statements so outlandishly out of touch with reality that I sometimes wonder if the poster ever talked to a person in real life. I just spent an entire the entire 2 segments for the most part saying that you're dealing with a bunch of jaded, angry, and bitter men, primarily middle-aged men that have gone through divorce and have had half their assets taken, etc. And these guys cannot admit their role in what made that happen, right? This is probably because people from the banned quarantine Manosphere subs came here instead and tipped the balance of participants, isn't it? Let's take a look what the comment section says here. I don't know what sub you're reading. It's like the same couple thread topics every day, and not much has changed, especially hypergamy and 80-20 threads. Right, it's all the same thing. Hypergamy, women are never satisfied, they're always seeking up. Well, if you show up being the best version of yourself you can be as a man, and you're the best that a woman can get, then why would she have to seek up? A lot of these guys are just angry and bitter that they're not good enough. That's the truth. They let themselves go. And 80-20 threads, 80% of the women want 20% of the men, right? Or 90% of the women want 20% or want 10% of the men. I don't even read those shit posts anymore because I'm so fucking sick of those topics. I agree. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that, bro. I agree on that. Yes, I agree on that, dude. Are you Manosphere guys beginning to see a trend now? You're dealing with angry and bitter and jaded men, which is what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what original poster is referring to. I agree. This place didn't always used to be like this. Now it is basically a red pill circular activity. Let's call it that. Where a bunch of guys get together and they do certain things that if I talk about, I'll get demonetized or removed. Of the same shit over and over till the mods give them a purge week. Then they go into catharsis, and a few weeks later start again, rinse and repeat. Because they're angry, bitter, and jaded. They're incels, they can't get a woman. And even if a woman talks with them, the woman dismisses them. They can't get a woman to be intimate with them. It's because of the way they don't take care of themselves, the lack of self-care and self-love, right? That's what these guys don't get. They don't focus on working on themselves and bettering themselves so they can be attractive to decent women. Instead, they just come out and lash out, and they're angry, bitter, and jaded. Feminine energy. These guys are not real men. From what I remember, there was a thread asking who won. A few years ago, the blue pill had a stronger following on PPD, Purple Pill Debate, this subreddit here. Their stance was that they were mocking red pill on their sub. They tried to do that here, and you cannot use mockery as a counterpoint in a debate, or else no one can take you seriously. Purple pill guys are still open to dating and marrying a woman, but they proceed with the caution and awareness of what they learned from the MGTOW red pill. Okay. Also, go look at the top posts of all time. There are quite a few where red pillars or red-leaning posters provided evidence of the dating problems men face and why taking a more red-pilled stance made sense. There are also some where blue pillars criticize those in their ranks for not being willing to engage in good faith. These are angry and bitter men. Do you guys in the Manosphere not see the pattern? The real good guys that really want to enjoy life with a woman and enjoy life in the way it was meant to be. Do you guys see the trend here? After years of the same arguments and men's issues coming to light, many of the bloops ran away because you need more than mockery and smart assery when dealing with the core of the problem men are facing: loneliness, rejection, a shallow SMP, the barren wasteland that is old online dating, right? Okay. Male disposability and women's lack of empathy. Faced with evidence and personal accounts of this, they either became red-pilled themselves or just left. They gave up. Or they got kicked out. I mean, these are just angry and bitter men that are just, spewing their hatred. They're projecting their insecurities. It's just a place for them to, it's their, I forgot the word. Let's just move on. Faced with evidence and personal accounts of this, they either became red-pilled themselves or just left. Okay, I read that. The fact is what exactly does a man do when everything mainstream that he has been told isn't working? Well, not everything you hear that's mainstream is good advice. That's what I'm trying to say here. Why should he give up being red-pilled if it works? If blue-pilled offered an alternative that actually worked, I think more red-pillers would have been converted. There are far more desperate men on Reddit, though, and they seem to have had similar experiences, hence the influx of red-pill users. Here's the thing. I feel red-pill knowledge needs to be known by all men. We need to know what we're up against, okay? I think we need to also know blue-pill knowledge, so we're not that, right? And purple pill, I feel, if you're going to follow MGTOW and identify with any of the pills, I identify myself as purple pill. I don't care about MGTOW. I could care less. But if I had to participate, in MGTOW, which I don't, I would be purple pill. I have the caution and awareness of the red pill. I understand what it's like to be a blue pill simp, like they call it. A man that puts a woman on a pedestal, a man that kisses a woman's ass, sucks up to a woman, does everything she says, thinking that that's going to be the way to win her heart, where it's not. So having the knowledge of the red pill and the blue pill is what I feel can make a man purple pill, which is the right place to be. Don't give up on life or give up on women. Any normal guy wants to be with a woman. Just understand what you're up against and learn the information so you learn how to weed out the not so good women that, MGTOW's talking about, and focus on the good ones. And don't listen to them when they say that all women are like that and there aren't any good women left. So this, in fact, is what exactly, the fact is, what exactly does a man do when everything mainstream that he has been told isn't working? Why should he give up being red pill? I read all that. And I read the whole thing. Sorry, I don't need to read that again. Let's move on here. If blue pill offered an alternative that actually worked, I think more red pillers would have been converted. Here's the thing. It's not about being blue pill or red. I think purple pill is the place to be. I think red pill knowledge needs to be known by men, but not to make them angry and bitter and hate women, to be able to filter out those types of women and focus on the good ones. Because there are good women out there. Most of the shit topics, the CMV topics, making a false claim and then asking people to prove it, are actually from blue pill people. These posters usually don't know the difference between red and blue pill and think red pill is about misogyny and incels. Well, I think the monks are incels. And I think that the angry and bitter men that try to shove the red pill down every man's throat, that's also telling these guys to never date or marry again, I think that those guys are misogynists and incels. But just being red pill aware doesn't make you a misogynist or an incel. It just makes you a smart dude, so you know what you're up against, and you don't focus too much of your time or energy with one of these horrible types of women they're talking about. Focus on the good ones instead. I honestly hate the red pill, and I think it's just sexist garbage. Well, I disagree with you on that. It's not sexist garbage. It's just a lot of men take it a bit too far, when compared to what it actually means. So let me read a couple more here, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So get your questions, comments, and concerns in right now. We are at 2 hours and 14 minutes. Queen has the big eyes searching or seeking for trolls. All right. Nothing happening on Facebook or the live. All right. Any dating strategy where men put themselves first and get into a position where they have an abundance of choice is going to seem sexist. Nope, it's not. Women do the same thing. You're wrong. Because we live in a culture that puts women first. Well, it may seem that way, right? It may seem that way. And there are a lot of groups. It seems that way because there are a lot more groups created by women that preach that. It's part of the empowerment strategy to empower women with the rights they've been given, right? Their liberation, right? Okay. But you don't have to look at it that way as a man, and you don't have to deal with women that think that way, right? There are women that don't think that way. There are women that still want a good guy and want a real relationship with a real man, and she's submissive. There are women like that. You just have to filter them out. The sexist garbage of red pill subs is going to be banned well before the sexist garbage of FDS, female dating strategy style subs, simply because misandry is far more tolerated. No, here's the thing. I have to give the women at least this. Okay? I'm not saying some of the things that women say are way out of line or whacked out. They are. But the way women present material is far more in context than men. Men take things way, way, way out of context. These men take things way out of context because they're angry and bitter. They're angry and bitter because they were divorce raped and had half their assets taken and had their kids taken because they can't admit and look back that they made a lot of mistakes and they let themselves go, right? Any man that can't admit their mistakes or faults is not a real man. And these are the kind of guys you're dealing with here. You try to call them out on it to try to help them out like I did in the past, and they attack you. Why? Because they're not real men. They overreact. They're emotionally unstable, right? They act like a female dog. These guys do. It's pathetic. Grown men. I just wish Red Pill stopped making excuses for any misogyny in their ranks. The men's rights guys still need to police themselves because they want to raise awareness about issues men face. Sure, and that's fine. But see, here's the thing. The difference between the MRAs, the men's rights activists, and the MGTOWs. The men's rights activists were never about attacking women or talking smack about women. They're just talking about rights in a respectful, professional, and mature way. I would become a men's rights activist any day over MGTOW, but honestly, I don't want to get involved in either. I don't want to deal with that crap. But why should Red Pill care if women and blue pillars think it is sexist, especially if it works as they claim it does? Okay, good point. What changes in the world if they acknowledge it? Nothing. Feminists don't really care about the misandry in their ranks, nor do FDS, female dating strategy, subreddit followers. Otherwise, the former would do something about it instead of regurgitating the no true Scotsman fallacy. Okay. We will leave that one alone. There's going to be some red pill people that condone PUAs and manipulating or even emotionally abusing women. But what I get from the blue pill, which most people are, is just lies. Also manipulation of women and toxicity. Well, women manipulate the blue pillars. Red pillars manipulate, the women, right? Okay. And guys that are purple pill that understand red pill knowledge, but also are no longer blue pill. They now understand that the stove is hot, but they also have become more confident and they know what to look for in a woman. Purple pillars can go either way. Some purple pillars just want to pump and dump. Some want to be pickup artists. Some want a real relationship. I honestly think that the majority of purple pillars want a relationship, or they wouldn't have cared about the red pill in the first place, or MGTOW in the first place, right? Because it's much easier to get hookups and one-night stands than get relationships. I think what this all boils down to is who still wants to date and possibly get married and have a family, and who doesn't, right? That's what you need to decide there. So that is that. I'm going to stop it right there, and I'm going to go back to full screen because I need to get some food. I haven't eaten all day. I'm hungry. And even though it appears like I have a lot of energy still, I don't have a whole lot of energy left. So we're going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to come back tomorrow. Let me actually just go to the browser source. It'll be tomorrow or the next day, one of these days. I'm going to do these here. People should be more blunt when giving dating advice from the subreddit dating. And am I in the wrong? From the subreddit relationship advice. These are two great Reddit postings I want to share with you folks, with some great stories and a great write-up by the original poster. And we just flat out ran out of time today. So we're going to wrap it up. Let's go back to full screen. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Queen Helen Casey for being here, and anyone else that was watching behind the scenes. Have yourselves a great night. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.